Big tech just dropped bombs. Microsoft erased 380 billion in value after a solid report because AI spend is exploding and payoff is not fast enough. Meta, it delivered ad gains from AI and guide massive capex. The stock soared. This week, Alphabet February 4 and Amazon February 5 will decide if the 500 billion plus on AI capex supercycle will hold or crack. I'm breaking down fundamentals, key chart levels, where to track live, and your playbook. My name is Kevin, your financial analyst. If you're in these names, like now and let's go. Tech's massive AI demand is under scrutiny ahead of the earnings. Here is what to watch. The key points. Apple, Meta Platforms, Microsoft, and Tesla report earnings this week after having shelled out billions on AI infrastructure in 2025 to support massive AI demand. When we look at the news at the report of certain journalists, in total, the four so-called hyperscalers, Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet, and Amazon, are expected to boost capital expenditure this year over 470 billion from 300 billion in 2035, according to analyst estimate compiled by FactSet. When we look at the earnings, for example, when you look at the earnings of Amazon earnings is around 21 billion. Alphabet, around 34 to 35 billions. Microsoft, very higher compared to others, 39 billions. But this week we know exactly if the result of the investment will pay off. This result is generally described by what the chart will tell us. For example, when we come here, we see that it's also a chance for investors to hear how and when those project build-outs are expected to turn profitable. So it's actually a good news because we want to know if the chart will grow or if the chart will go down. But recently, many companies started shifting from investing on AI and started moving now to the AI, physical AI. What our Reuters are saying. Here we see that the US equity funds attract inflows ahead of megacap earnings. US equity funds experienced renewed inflows in the week of January 28, supported by upbeat expectation ahead of megacap earnings despite jitters over President Donald Trump's latest tariff threats. Now, what are the risks? The spending is in multi-year, but 2026 demands proof. Cloud acceleration and ROI or rotation out of pure AI intensifies. So people are asking for proof that we should continue to invest or maybe people will just go out. That's why people are actually talking a lot about crash. So this week we'll see expectation. Now, we also want to see what is actually happening on the chart. So let's move to the chart and see exactly the design that is or this big story is bringing us. Here we are on the chart. But before we start, I want to mention the Nasdaq because the Nasdaq is actually driven by the hyperscalers. Right now, the Nasdaq is growing. On the weekly time frame, we have a beautiful Nasdaq on top of the 20 moving average. It's as if all the companies, all the big institutions doesn't want the Nasdaq to go down. Despite the fact that recently gold and silver crash, we expect also a follow-up about this one because when people are not buying gold or silver, it means that it is related to war and the threat being reduced. It means that Donald Trump recent tweets and action are actually going down. So the wipe out of the trillions on gold and silver could trigger this and also create a follow-up because if you're not building tech to prepare for war and everything, it means that you're not buying silver. It means that if you're not buying silver or gold, it means that you're not buying AI infrastructure anymore. When you don't do that, the hyperscaler will then start going down. So this one is expected to go down. But this is not what interests us right now. When we look at Meta recently hit a beautiful double top recently, and we said that it was because JP Morgan gave a gift and everything. Again, almost on 1 week, 10%. This is actually good news. But what are the 500 billions spent on AI could show us here? First thing, We expect the price to continue to go higher. Of course, we want the price to continue to go higher. But like I said, recently we got a wipe out of trillions in the market. And this is not just a simple move. It's actually institutional decision. This is not something the market, because people are talking about conspiracy and everything. So this is textbook collecting liquidity in the market. This is actually a big manipulation by the institution. So people are expect the price to go higher based on the news. That's why we always say, don't follow the news, don't follow the emotion. 500 billion is a good price to trigger people to start buying. So we have to be patient. We have to follow the price. This level right here is important. We are on the weekly time frame. When we go to the daily time frame, this level is important. We just wait for the price to dip a little bit here before seeing the possibility to buy higher. Now, Google, same story, but here we have something different. The price is already starting to create some kind of shifting correction. Still above the 20 moving average, we expect the price to continue to go higher, because since the April 2025, the price has been going higher and higher. So maybe because Google doesn't actually suffer too much of the earnings and everything, so maybe the revenue will make the price continue to go higher. But still, we still have to check where to enter. It's actually a good idea to check on these stocks, because as you can see, we have a beautiful trend here and it's very aggressive. It actually spiked. So based on the news, we expect the price to continue to go higher. But remember, recently something unusual happened in the market. Gold and silver crash. These are actually metals, and metals are very big catalysts when it comes to building and everything. So crashing means something very important. News might be a cover up to trigger people to buy. So I want you guys to be very careful here. Completely protect your portfolio. Observe. Don't just jump into expectation and emotion. Now, Microsoft is the one suffering, because when we look at the weekly time frame, Microsoft actually broke a certain level. That is very important. This level right here. It broke this level. This is actually a almost 6 to 7 month low. Well, we remember that it was actually triggered by this double top here. So this double top is actually very intriguing, because when we look at the monthly, we can clearly see that the price is trying to go somewhere, and this somewhere is this level, because Microsoft is usually respecting price movement. So this level is very important when it comes to price movement and everything. This level right here. So we expect the price to come down here and hit it and continue. The problem is this. People don't want this to happen, because this happening is many people losing money in the market. So why people don't want this to happen? Because many people got triggered when we go on the weekly. Many people got triggered by this big move and enter. Now, this fair value gap created, many people believe that the price will never come down here. And remember, price movement doesn't care if you just enter here or everywhere you want. Market need liquidity to grow. Recently, Microsoft have been suffering of liquidity. That's why this time, because Microsoft was the one financing the most the AI, this time they have to show relevant revenue based on their expenditure. So what we expect is this. News will create a certain kind of hiding catalyst. Price will come down here. It's already actually well placed, because when we look at the Fibonacci retracement, the price is already inside the discount zone. It's already here. So anytime the price will go up, so the earnings might create a certain kind of expansion. So we will see. Always be careful. Always watch before deciding. As you can see here, we have a big spike here based on big volume, but the price came down directly sharply. You can actually see the volume. The price came down almost directly. You can see this big volume here. This is actually very scary, because when you see this kind of big push based on your chart analysis, You expect the price to just continue. This is actually a better dip. You expect the price to continue, but bad news happened and you got wiped out. You became the liquidity. Now, how about Amazon? Amazon here is just dancing because on the weekly time frame, we have something we call consolidation. The price is not going higher too much. It's just there going up, going down, going up, going down on the zigzag. Even though when we try to squeeze, we see a beautiful uptrend. But still, the dip is not consequent. The dip is not telling us exactly what to do. Because when you look at the history, the price always got rejected while touching the 100 moving average, 100 moving average, 100 moving average. So people are actually afraid to enter here. The reason is this: entering might trigger a collection of liquidity going down to the 100 moving average before expansion. That's why I always say this in this channel. Patience is key when it comes to trading. If you're not patient, you become the liquidity, you become the money provider of other investors. So you have to be patient. Wait for the best opportunity because the best opportunity gives you the best risk-reward ratio. So with Amazon, what we expect about the news, we expect something that I'm saying right here. We want it. Actually, we want the price to do exactly that. We don't want the price to continue to go higher, to continue to create fear. We want the price to respect his historical movement. We want the price to come down here to this particular level, collect the liquidity that he has to collect, no problem. Collect that liquidity, hit the 100 moving average, collect the liquidity and continue to skyrocket. Because based on history, hitting this level means the price will never come back here again. Based on history. So this is what we want actually in the market right now. So based on the next weeks, we will see exactly if this scenario can happen. So this is the end of the video, guys. If you like this kind of content, if you like to see expectation in the market, if you want to see whether the price will continue to go higher based on news, fundamentals, chart analysis, and everything, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I also want to hear from you guys. What do you actually think about the recent news, especially on the gold and silver, and what do you expect this week about the earnings of the 500 billions on the super hyperscalers? Let me know in the comment, guys. See you soon. Have a nice day and take care of you.